Alright, YouTube, I'm still not up to 100% today. I feel kind of better in some ways, kind of worse in others. Like, my chest is decongesting, that's good, but at the same time, still got like the runny nose and shit. So I'm going to hold it to 2 videos today. I had someone say, oh, take a week off or something, you make so many videos. No, I've got too many things to talk about. It's weird. Every time I can't get to video making, that's when there are the most things to talk about. But here I'm going to talk about Suprun, I believe his name is, the Texas elector. He went on Fox yesterday as well, talking about why he won't cast his vote for Trump. Now, Texas, of course, voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump. He's an elector from Texas, and he's refusing to support him. He's also not apparently going to support Clinton, though, so it's a moot point. And this is, by the way, a non-issue largely. Now, he is correct. He is under no constitutional onus to cast his electoral vote for Donald Trump. He is correct when he says this. Though we might think of it being a little bit dubious, because at the same time, he was actually elected to that position as a Republican elector. He's not just some sort of total free agent. Obviously, he's not going to remain in politics at any level, maybe for the Democratic Party, but it doesn't seem he supports them. He's talking about possibly voting for Kasich. Now, his apparently tipping point was Mike Pence actually being chosen, and then going on to talk about rigged votes and so forth, and he felt, I guess, this makes an inappropriate pairing of people who aren't fully in league with common sense, perhaps. Now, I've said before, I don't like Mike Pence either. Donald Trump did win the election. By the way, the Electoral College will vote him into power. That is what will happen. There is a 0% chance that they're going to give it to Hillary Clinton. In fact, I think most of these faithless electors are not even talking about voting for her. They're talking about voting for Kasich. So I guess that John Kasich, or maybe Jeb Bush, Jeb out of fucking nowhere, he gets like 500 electoral votes or something. People constantly joke about that. I guess Kasich will get a handful of points in this election. It's perfectly legal. In some of these states, they can fine them. There's no other real process for which to prevent the electors from doing this. The Electoral College, the reason why it exists and has people in it instead of the state simply automatically allotting the electoral points is specifically so that people can stand in the gap. If some total tyrant wins an election, through screwy means, or there's evidence of outright fraud in that interim period between the popular vote being held for each state on election night and then inauguration, or when rather the Electoral College casts its votes, they can actually take the election from somebody. Those are the only real situations in which that would ever happen. Essentially, the person is outright tyrannical and or caught up in some sort of massive scandal that precludes them in that period of time from taking office. The fact that you get one or two electors saying, well, I'm not going to vote for the person I'm technically pledged for, is not a big issue. That's why the Electoral College is there. Yes, this person. You've got to understand his mentality. His mentality is, and I don't agree with it, but this is the way he's thinking, I want to do what's right, and I think it would be wrong to cast my vote for this individual. Now, most people in the country probably deeply disagree with that sentiment. But that being said, he does have the right to vote for anyone. He can vote for Harambe and literally give Harambe an electoral point if he chooses to. He could give himself an electoral point. He could give the governor of his state an electoral point. He could give it to, Carly Fiorina. He could give it to anybody. He's under no onus whatsoever, legally speaking, to vote for Trump. But it's a non-issue. It's not going to hurt Trump. The idea that still there are a few people peddling around that, oh, Hillary at the last minute is going to win over a few dozen electors and grab the election, it's not going to happen. In fact, I don't know of any faithless elector planning to vote for her. I think they're all planning to vote for Kasich, which doesn't help her. She still would have to get over 270. If it actually got to the point where it went to the House, it would put Trump in power. It'd say, well, he won the election, fair and square. In a majority of states with the majority of electoral points, he is the victor. What else do you want us to do? It wouldn't even be a constitutional crisis. It would just be a slap in the face of the voters of those states that voted for Trump. In fact, the never-Trumpers have continuously fucked themselves over and over and over from day one of the primaries. Over and over, they've screwed around and made themselves look bad. If they were to actually carry this through so that it went to the House, or something along those lines, if it got significant enough so that it was more than second page news, oh yeah, 2-3 electors refused to vote for Trump, which nobody cares about, doesn't do anything to the election. If it actually got to that point, all the Trump fans would proliferate even further in numbers, because it would be yet more evidence that what Trump said all along is a sort of almost a campaign ethos, which is the establishment is rigged, the establishment is dishonest, they hate the common people, they don't care about the voters, would be borne out yet again. It would just make him more powerful. If you want an even more powerful and potentially autocratic Trump, keep up with the never Trump bullcrap. It's never going to work. Suprun is a fool. But at the same time, he is legally entitled to cast his vote for now Kasich or Cruz or whoever he wants to vote for. He's legally entitled to do that. It's not going to make a difference. What his action is, I guess, just to save face. Maybe he's convinced that Trump will do a shitty job and doesn't want his name associated with having cast a vote for him when he had a choice to do otherwise. By the way, there would have been faithless electors for Clinton, too. A couple of electors in Washington State claimed they wouldn't vote for Hillary if she got over 270, that they wouldn't actually cast their votes for her. Now, having faithless electors, if you have one or two, it's not a problem. It's not going to flip an election. Nobody cares. If you were to have a few dozen, that would be more of a problem. We're nowhere near that threshold right now. So who cares, ultimately? That's about all. Peace out.